All right, so I'm gonna push the seat forward and I'm gonna show you exactly how much room is back here. And as you can see, there's not a lot. I guess for perspective purposes, I'll put something back there. Let me see if I can find something. Okay, so I put the tripod back there. The tripod is, well, it's been adjusted down to its minimum height, and I'd say it's about 3 feet tall. So for perspective purposes and for the video, you can see that's not a lot of room back there. It's pretty small. You can maybe fit like I'd say a grocery bag, like one grocery bag that you can, you know, plop back there and then put the seat back, and then it would squish in here in the bottom. Now the other side has even less room. So I can basically fit my hand in here, like maybe, and I can't spread it out. So you can maybe fit like a briefcase back here. You have your side airbags right here along the seat. So that's kind of cool. Oh, and this, I think this is pretty standard on most Porsches. They have a coat rack or a hanger rack here in the back. I've seen that in most modern 911s, and this is the first time I've seen this in a Cayman. This particular car has a set of racing wheels on them, and it has Michelin tires, and then it's got the classic red brake calipers to accent the car. It's got the stock Porsche race calipers. Okay, so let's move along to the rear. I'm gonna pop the trunk and then show you the trunk. Okay, so the way you open the trunk is you just put your hand underneath and open up, and there you go. Again, this trunk is pretty small, but this car has 2 small trunks, so I guess that equals 1 big trunk, I guess. And then you have space up here. You can lay stuff out, I guess, if you have clothes or if you've got anything you want to sprawl out. So these 2 things, this is pretty interesting. That's where the oil goes. So you screw these off. I don't know if you pop this whole panel up. No, I don't think you can. But you screw these open, and that's for oil and I believe coolant. And coolant's also in the front as well. So I didn't know what these were when I first saw these. I've seen this car for years, and I just, you know, you can see these 2 things through the window, and I never knew what they were. And now I know. So these are for fluids. All right, now on to the fun stuff. Let's start it up. Let's listen to the exhaust. I'll admit, this car's exhaust sounds really cool. It's got the sport exhaust like I showed you before down here in the center console, and it sounds really cool. It pops. I honestly don't hear much difference between the sport exhaust and the regular exhaust, but maybe that's what it is. Maybe when the sport exhaust is on, you hear those pops and the snap, crackle pops and all that. So, all right, here, let's start it up. Let me get you guys set up. All right, so I'm gonna take the key, put it over here on the left. Turn the radio off. Wow, listen to that. All right, so now we're idling, and here is all the displays. You know, it shows you tire pressure. If you go down here and switch, you can look at different displays. Shows you, there's the navigation. Let me see, I'm trying to get a better shot. So yeah, you can see there's all the oil temperatures, there's the oil pressure, there's the battery. The battery gauge shows you how much life is left in the battery. And it's, yeah, you can just go through and kind of flip through, and there's navigation, there's the telephone, everything that you need. The radio, let's look at display. Sounds good. I wish you guys could hear this. The speakers are actually really good in this car. Can go through and kind of mess around. Let's put it into sport exhaust. Put it in a sport mode. All right, so here we go. All right, and we've got the windows down, so there might be a little bit of noise. But as you can hear, the exhaust is pretty loud. It's actually really loud. And as the car starts to warm up, and I noticed it yesterday when I was driving around, it gets louder as the engine warms up. So now, even though this isn't a 911, it feels very familiar. It feels, and I think that's because I've driven modern, newer 911s. This car feels it feels very comfortable. It feels, you know, you can get into it and drive it with no problem. There's not a lot of fussiness and lots to learn with the car. My car is a 2003, so it's more analog. It's very raw. It's not like the 80s cars, but it's also very sparse when it comes to technology. But this car's got all the creatures of comfort, and it feels very luxurious, but yet at the same time it still feels like a sports car. I don't know if I would choose this over the 911, but for a track car, yes, I definitely would take this. Now, one of the things that I want to mention is how easy this car is to shift. The gears are very tight together, and they're very precise. So it makes for very easy shifting. The clutch is buttery smooth. It goes in and out, no problem. It's not very heavy. Yeah, it's almost like you don't really have to think about any of the shifting that goes on with this car. So I got the GoPro hooked up. The camera on the dash was causing too much vibration, so I couldn't get any road shots. And it might sound a little bit better if I go through tunnels with the GoPro instead of the other camera, because the other mount that I had for the dash, or for the windshield, was a little loose and just it was vibrating a lot. So let's try this out. Here's a tunnel, kind of. So here's my honest opinion of the 2014 Porsche Cayman S. The car handles like a dream. I briefly took it up to Mulholland Drive, and you know, I didn't really want to open it up too much because it's not my car. I don't want to put anybody else in danger. I don't want to put myself in danger. And I don't really know this car all too well. Even though it is easy to drive, there may be some quirks about it that I didn't really know about. And the last thing I want to do is slide the car off the road and go over an embankment or down into the canyons. So that's number one, handling. Number two is styling. I really like the style of this car. I didn't really like some of the older generations. The first generation really wasn't all that good looking to me. But this car, the 2014, is very slick. It kind of has a little bit of that 911 shape. It looks good. It's very eye-catching. It catches a lot of people's eyes. Plus this color, I'm not really a red car person. I like darker colors, but this car pops. It looks really cool driving through traffic, and it turned a lot of heads. So number two, there's the styling. I think that's one of the things that really attracted me to this car. Number three, I would say, is the interior layout. I really like the way things are set up in the car. It's very ergonomically correct. Everything is styled perfectly. Everything is within reach. Porsche did a really good job laying everything out in a way that makes sense. It's not overly done like some cars. A lot of modern cars are overly engineered on the inside, and there's all these bells and whistles and gadgets, and it would take forever to go through them. And you know, they kept it simple, but yet it's got modern comforts. Alright, so one last walk around. The engine's running. Let me zoom out. 2014 Porsche Cayman S in Guards Red, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pretty slick car. I like it, and I would consider buying one. Other people that I've talked to have said that they don't really like these cars as much, but I really enjoy it. I like it. It was fun to drive. It handled well. So that's the end of the video, guys. Please comment, like, subscribe. And if I missed anything, comment below. I've got more content coming out soon. And I'm going to change the name of the channel. I don't know to what. I've got a business idea. All this stuff coming up. So stay tuned. And again, guys, buckle up and be safe.